Good morning, everyone. Or good evening for those of you down under. Thanks for joining me. So, talking about Sebastian Rogers' case today, again, trying to avoid all of the absolute complete BS from the vast majority of people covering this case. But we've got a new potential theory that needs to be discussed. So that's what we're going to be doing. And apparently this provides proof that Sebastian couldn't have left the house on his own. I think that's what it's trying to prove anyway. But maybe you can help me out with it because I'm not quite understanding. Anyhow, that's what we're going to be doing. But I'm going to be debunking this new theory, even though I don't fully understand how this provides anything about anything. But people are saying, oh, this solves the case. No, I don't think it does. Because it's so easy to debunk that, I don't know, it's just too easy. It's just too easy. Vivian, member for 21 months. Woo-hoo. Thank you so much. You are nearly one of the OGs. Thank you, Krista. You are incredibly kind for the $49.99 super sticker before the live even starts. That's amazing. Thank you. So generous. Before the live even starts as well. All right, I'm going to say a few hellos here. Oh, A to Z gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. We've got Mike, Jen, Queen of Ravens, Constant Creek, and Debbie. Welcome, you guys. There's some cute puppy pics on the members area if you want to go and have a look at them. So you get months free membership. Thank you, A to Z. You are so kind. And Wonderlust, who is a new member. Welcome to the Secret Agents Club. Welcome, welcome. All right, we've got some generous bodies in the house this morning, but I am going to say a few hellos before we get into this. Hold on a second. Okay, we're going to start from the top. Hello, JD. Holly, hello. Unless they had a secret room, all of those searches could not find. Yeah, I don't think they had a secret room. I really don't. The house isn't that big. It's not like one of these, mansions from medieval times where they had priest halls and secret passages. And yeah, I think if Sebastian had been in a secret room, I think the heat-seeking technology would have found the secret room. Honestly. Anxious to hear about Clem and the new puppies. They're all doing fine, as far as I know. I'm going to see them this afternoon, so I'll take some more pictures for the members. Some minds are bipolar. They go from no tracks to he didn't leave the house instantly. That's bipolar. There are stages in between. There are no tracks. Then there are stages in between. Okay. There's apparently a video of him taking the bins out. That's true. Taking the trash out. Apparently, Seth has been shown that. We haven't seen it. Apparently, it's very grainy, and Seth said it wasn't clear. But it's from the house over the road. So we're going to talk. It's that house, actually, we're going to talk about. Hello, Mike. Been studying hard, coming up with a massive headache. Yeah. I actually dreamt you've been hired as an assistant PI. Well, the only dream I've had about this case was I dreamt that Sebastian was living in a homeless camp. So if it turns out that he was actually living in a homeless camp all this time, then I'm going to rebrand myself as some kind of like premonition giver. I'm going to become all spooky like that. Hi, Angie baby. It would be worth revisiting similar cases. I do sometimes refer to other cases that have kind of similar facts. But even so, I mean, there's so many differences in cases that it's hard to make any, direct comparisons. So we've got a lot of stages in between here. Max's track is a stage in between. Wind direction is a stage in between. Maybe just join the dots together. That's what I've been trying to do, is join the dots, so that the little things we know, to join the dots to see if it gives us a more complete picture. So the garage is a stage in between. Look, I don't believe that Sebastian was hidden in Katie's car and driven away. Because if we're saying that the camera over the road was able to pick up Sebastian taking out the trash, then it would also be able to pick up a car leaving Sebastian's driveway. And if Katie had left at any point in the night, it would have been picked up, wouldn't it? So the cops would know. The cops would know exactly what time she would have left. And also, here's the thing. Here's the thing of what the TBI said about the vehicles. Okay, so this is from the TBI newsroom. This is from their frequently asked questions, and goes on about the area's technology. So down the bottom of this technology section, it says, with the help of the FBI, vehicles that were placed in the area at or around the time of Sebastian's disappearance have been accounted for. So I don't know how far the area it was that they spanned, but I would definitely imagine that it would include Sebastian's own house. So they've accounted for the movements of everybody in that neighborhood. Whoa! Hush Pup has gifted 50 memberships. That's insane. Thank you so much. That is so kind. I'm not going to try to read out 50 names, but probably just about everybody in the chat is now a member. It's still going. It's still going. Wow. It's still going. That's amazing. Thank you so much. That's incredibly generous. Incredibly generous. Lisa, could the camera have been turned off while she left and then turned back on? Yeah, but it's the house over the road. So unless the house over the road is in on it, then no. No. That just isn't happening. You never saw this before, the press answers. What, this? The TBI newsroom? I read it. I read the entire thing the other day in a live stream. But I've been through the frequently asked questions often. So the link to this is in every video. In the description box of every video that I do on Sebastian, I have this to the TBI newsroom. So I'll put it in the chat so anybody can grab it if they want to, but it's in the description box of every single video that I do on Sebastian's case. Please tell me what a lean-to is. A lean-to is like it's like a shed or a like a shed, but not with all the sides. So it's people keep stuff under lean-tos. I don't know what, like, that's just what I call them. I don't know what their actual real name is. But apparently, I think you're referring to yesterday's video. The person who Seth was with at the time replied in my comment section And she said Seth was at her cabin. So he was outside of a cabin. So it must have been some kind of porch at a cabin. So it wasn't a lean-to. It was a porch area of a cabin. I'm assuming that's what you're referring to when you ask me what a lean-to is. So we have a new theory. Yes, we're gonna talk about it in a second. But for those who haven't seen the TBI Newsroom's piece, long piece of information. So basically, they've got all the information that they've provided the public all on one page. And they have questions and answers as part of that. So let's just read this quickly before we get into this new theory. Yeah, usually lean-tos can be connected to a house. Yeah, like built on the side of a house. So it's not like they've not got like complete sides. So there's a roof, and it may have like one side or just black poles holding it up. So it provides some kind of shelter, but it's not a complete like room or shed. All right. What areas have been searched? Within the first several days of the search, more than 2,000 miles were searched on foot. Many of these areas were initially searched and searched again. Law enforcement officers have searched the neighbourhoods, surrounding neighbourhoods, schools, and many other areas of the county by foot. Bloodhounds and handlers have searched the same area. There have been aerial searches with helicopters, drones, and a fixed-wing plane. These aerial searches have been conducted on multiple days and multiple nights using thermal imaging technology. Sebastian's residence, the yard, the house, the vehicles have all been searched multiple times. The neighbourhood where Sebastian lives has been canvassed. Neighbours' houses have been searched. Sebastian is autistic and his family say he's drawn to water. Pools in the neighbourhood were searched. Dive teams were brought in, and bodies of water around the neighbourhood and beyond that area were searched, including caves. We do know not all caves were searched because some of them were too dangerous for searchers to go into. And we know the search of the property and vehicles included cadaver dogs, multiple teams of cadaver dogs, infrared, and heat-seeking technology. So infrared will pick up like, small amounts of staining that could be blood. What about the technology aspect? Have you collected security video from area homes and businesses? Have cell phones been checked? Many neighbours and businesses have provided video from home and business surveillance systems. We are grateful for that cooperation. The video has been collected, and from the beginning of the investigation, they've been analysed and enhanced where possible by tech experts with TBI, FBI, and Secret Service. To date, nothing gathered from these video systems has been determined to be significant. What about tunnels? I don't know if there are any tunnels, but we do know that storm drains were all searched. So I'm assuming that things like storm drains and stuff would be considered tunnels. There's a picture. I don't think I've saved it, but there's a picture of a camera being put down a drain. So they use like cameras to do the drainage systems in the area. We do caution that some surveillance video being shared by the public may have been misinterpreted or misidentified. So they're talking there about the flashlights video that Nick Berris released, or not shown in its entirety. It's been determined that it does not hold any evidentiary significance to the case. Numerous search warrants have been executed. Cell phone data has been analysed, and any other available digital evidence has been collected, searched, and documented. Information was collected from Sebastian's gaming system and has been analysed. So if he was talking, is there an attic? There's an attic room, yes, which has been searched. The entire property has been searched at least 10 times. So they would know if Sebastian was talking to anyone via his gaming system. I would imagine they'd be able to tell if he did, at least that he had access to the internet. with help from the FBI, vehicles that were placed in the area at or around the time of Sebastian's disappearance have been accounted for. So all vehicles that were moving around that area have been accounted for. So they'll have been able to track them out of the neighborhood and then to wherever they went. I mean, like I said, I don't know how far they went out. Like, I don't know what area they actually covered, but anybody coming in and out of Stafford Court, they would have known. They would have known, and the time they would have known them. And also the vehicles, like Katie's car and Chris's truck, the modern cars, they would have had some kind of, probably like I don't know whether they'd have a black box or some kind of like system. They could get a lot from that. These vehicles and all electronic evidence has been reviewed and often being reinvestigated. What's going on now? The search for Sebastian has not stopped. Every day, tips and leads are investigated. People are being interviewed and re-interviewed. Evidence that has been reviewed once already has been gone over again. We continue to ask residents in the area to search, keep an eye on your property to see if anything may have been moved or displaced. Is this a place where a child could have hidden? If you have property that has ledges or holes a teenager might find interesting and you can't search it yourself, please contact the tip line and we can have someone check it out for you. If you know Sebastian or have any information about him, what he likes, how he acts, that you think could be relevant, let us know. 1-800-TBI find, or you can email tips to tbi@tbi.tn.gov. All right. Not sure he was in the house. We know he was in the house. They would have known what time they got back. Why? Let me show you. Let me show you. I've done this so many times now. So many times. This is where I get infuriated. Right, so this is the main road, Long Hollow Pike. This is coming into Sebastian's neighbourhood, Kelling Lane. All right, we'll go down. We'll go down to Kelling Lane. Right, so we know that multiple houses along this stretch here have cameras. Right, we've known this from the outset. The release of the dispatch audio, we've known that these houses, any one of these houses, right, would have seen any vehicle coming and going from Stafford Court, because there's only one way in. There's only one way in to Stafford Court. All right. So up here, and then this is Stafford Court right here. And look, this house here has a camera right there. And we know that's got quite a long range. So could a car go to the construction site and not be on camera? No. No, because of this camera. This camera is going to catch every vehicle. We know this is a long-ranging camera because it's this camera that caught the lights that people, or Nick Barris, called the flashlights video. The lights were actually a light there. That was one of the lights. And then the other lights were a house on here. I don't know whether it was that one. And then the lights that were moving is from Honeysuckle Drive, which is behind these trees. Now, obviously, in February, these wouldn't have had leaves on the trees. This is from July 2023, but this is the most recent on Google Maps. But the flashlights were a garbage truck on Honeysuckle Drive, which is up here on a hill, and that's why you could see the lights moving. So we know that camera has got a long range for lights. There's no way that a vehicle could have come past here and not been seen by that camera. And there are also cameras there. So coming into, they'd have known the time. They'd have known the time that Katie got back. They'd have known the time that Katie left to look for Sebastian. So you can't get to the construction site without passing that camera, right? So it's that camera there. You can't go up Stafford Court and go to the construction site. You just can't. You can't get there in a vehicle, all right? So the only way that you can get to the construction site in a vehicle is from Sebastian's house, which is this one, is to pass this camera. So you need a cloak of invisibility. All right. So then you go up Kelling Lane and there's multiple cameras. Now, these are all set back. So it's very possible that once you get past that camera that we know has a long range, it's possible that you could certainly walk up here, very possible, because many of these, as we've discussed multiple times, a Ring doorbell has a maximum range, motion detection range of 30 feet. How do I know that? Because I've gone to ring.com. So this is ring.com. And we know that a lot of the cameras from Kelling were Ring cameras. We know that because of what was said on the dispatch audio. They were particularly saying Ring doorbell cameras. Go and listen to the dispatch audio. I've got multiple videos where I've gone through the dispatch audio. All right, so from ring.com, motion detection for Ring devices. Learn about optimizing motion alerts, motion zones, blah, blah, blah. All right, all about alerts, false notifications, motion detection range. Motion detection range on a Ring device is up to 9 meters, which is about 30 feet. If you don't believe me, do the conversion yourself. With a motion sensitivity slider at maximum level. Maximum level. So it could be that some people don't even have their motion detection range to its maximum level because they were getting false alerts. If you turn motion sensitivity down, the range will be lower. And we know that all of these houses here, and I've measured them, I've actually measured them live. We know that the houses that have the cameras, at the very, 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 least, you've got 50 feet between the house and the road. And that's not even taking into account, measuring specifically to the front door where a Ring camera would be. So no way would anybody walking along Kelling trigger a Ring doorbell from any of these houses on Kelling Lane. So that's why he wasn't caught on camera. That's why detectives who have tested these cameras also were not caught on those cameras when they were walking up and down Kelling, because the distance from the Ring doorbells to the road is too much. Even somebody with a security camera that has got a larger range might not pick up someone walking along that road at night in the dark, there's no street lights, wearing black. But to answer the question, there's no way that a car can get from Sebastian's house to the construction site without being caught on this camera. And we know this camera is not a Ring doorbell. We know this camera has got a long range because it was able to see lights over here on Honeysuckle Drive. Honeysuckle Drive is up a hill. Can't really see it, but it's up a hill. So there's that. I'm confused how far it is from his home to the construction site. Would you like me to measure it? Let me measure it for you. But I'm going to have to change. Just 1 second. I'm going to measure it live. All right, it's not very far. Okay. All right, so this is Google Earth. just Google this. Okay, so we're going to measure. We're going to measure Sebastian's route. So I've already got it measured, but I've already got it tracked. So that's the track that the dogs took according to Chris Profoot. But we'll measure it again. So we can do measure and we can do path. All right, we're measuring it. Do you want what measurement? Should we do it in miles? Let's do it in miles. All right, because some people think that it's way too far for a 15-year-old to have walked up a big hill. Dear me. Come on now. All right, just let me clear that a minute so that I can get rid of that. Let me just clear that a second and then I can get it all on the screen. So it's just easier. Okay. All right, miles. So we're going to start from Sebastian's house right there. And we're going to go. Is it doing path? Yes. So we're going to go. All right. Oh, no. I don't want that one. Clear that. We want 3D path. Let's do 3D path. All right. So measure from Sebastian's house. And we're going to go all the way around here. Boom. All the way up Kellen. We're going to walk along up this massive hill. Whew. Massive hill. Nobody could climb that hill. It's far too steep. So onto the construction site is 0.38 miles. 0.38 miles, so less than half a mile. All right, so walking along, and then he took a right here, and then here's the retention pond. So 0.6 miles. Anybody want to take a screenshot? It's a mountain. Yeah, it's a mountain. Yeah, it's a mountain. I've even heard people say that Kelling Lane is so steep that no child would be able to walk up there. No child would go up there. Okay. All right. Okay. You're going to see some of the things I did when I was Sebastian's age. All right. So 0.6 miles to the retention pond. I wonder if he did wear black. No, he won't be seen. I honestly don't think that you would think that far forward. Used to walk miles when I was a teenager, not so much now. I'm too lazy. Yeah, I used to walk miles. I mean, I'd walk a mile and a half to school, do a day at school if I went to school, walk a mile and a half back, and then take my dog out for like the rest of the night. I probably was like averaging maybe 10 miles a day when I was 15. That's if I went to school. Never mind barefoot. Yeah, never mind barefoot. All right, okay. All right, let's get into this interview. I'll share this the way that I don't get problems. All right, so this was happening overnight my time. All right. I'm going to show Sebastian. There we go. All right. So this is some kind of theory that is allegedly proving that Sebastian couldn't have left the house on his own. Now, I don't quite understand why this is proof. Why this is bingo, the bingo moment. Now, before I start playing this, please do not interpret this as me creating drama with other creators. I'm not interested in the creators. I'm interested in the information. So I'm not here to make negative comments about creators. I'm here to debunk information. All right. So what I don't want you to do is start making negative comments towards creators in the chat. The focus here is on Sebastian. The focus here is on what could have happened to Sebastian, and none of us knows. So we're all theorizing, and I theorize just as much as anybody else, and people are welcome. You know, I welcome people to try to debunk what I'm saying. I mean, please do. Play my videos and debunk them if you want. As long as you credit me, you can play all of my videos one after another if you want, as long as you credit me. But that's what I'm doing here. I am debunking this particular information. Do we know if they took the mom and stepdad's phones? Yes, let's refer back to the TBI newsroom. Cell phone data has been analysed, and any other digital evidence have been collected, searched, and documented. That's including every member of the family, all the tech, right? Any tech that could be used as a communication device has been analysed. Yes. Okay. So this appears to have come from, this is what I can glean. Now, I was listening to this on Nonsense's channel. So this is Nonsense, whose name is Becky. And she was critiquing a live stream that Smiley Stories World and Justin did. Now, I'm assuming that this was last night. This was overnight my time. Nonsense was critiquing this overnight my time. Right? I watched this earlier this morning. When this happened, this conversation between Smiley and Justin, I'm not sure. I don't know whether that was last night as well or whether it was the night before. And then Smiley and Justin were reviewing. So we've got a review of a review. So we know forward. I'm reviewing this. Who's reviewing this? Who's reviewing this? Because Smiley and Justin were reviewing the conversation that Smiley had with Chris and Katie. And apparently they've come up with this bingo moment to do with the cameras, that he couldn't have left the house. Like somebody couldn't have come to the house to get him, and no one suggested that they have, and he couldn't have left the house. I just don't get it. I don't get the logic. So we're going to do it. We're going to go through it. If Sebastian took a left out of his door and walked through his yard, it could explain why he wasn't caught on camera. Exactly. That's what I've been saying for weeks now. Weeks. It's like, look, every day for me feels like Groundhog Day. It's just Groundhog Day. I've tried to say things in as many different ways as possible. Yes, if he went left out of his house and walked through here, which he did, right, onto Kelling, there is no way he would have been seen by any of these cameras on this street, because they're too far away. These Ring doorbell cameras are too far away. And the reason why he wasn't seen on this camera, which has a long range, is because it was dark and he was wearing black. And if he went through here, right, walked across this neighbour's yard diagonally, he could have even gone through there. And then there's no way that camera would have seen him. But even if he'd gone down here onto the road, that camera obviously didn't pick him up. If there was a camera that was going to pick him up, it was most likely to be this one, because we know it's got a long range, because it can see lights over on Honeysuckle Drive. But it didn't. No cameras picked him up. But the detectives did tests, and it didn't pick them up either. The cameras on Kelling didn't pick them up either, because the cameras are too far away from the road to activate the motion sensors. All right. So this is nonsense. I do like nonsense. She's she doesn't give a shit. She says what she thinks. I like people like that. All right. So she's reviewing Smiley and Justin, and Smiley and Justin are reviewing Smiley, Chris, and Katie. Are we clear? So the link to Nonsense's stream is in the description box for replay viewers already. And I'm going to put this in the chat for anybody who wants to go and listen to this without my commentary. You are very welcome to do that. Okay. So we're starting at the 19-minute mark. So they've just started this conversation about the Bazinga moment. All right. So let's go. Just let me know that you can hear it. Okay.
Been in by the front door, punched in the code. Believe it or not, no, it's not super cool.
Hold on. Nonsense has got Chris sped up. So I'm going to put my speed back to normal. But Chris and Katie's conversation with Smiley has been sped up a little bit. So you're going to have to deal with it because there's nothing I can do about reducing the speed of someone talking when I don't have the controls. But my speed is normal. I'll put the CCs on, so that might help. All right, just let me take it back maybe a few seconds so that we can do a sound test. Your name has come up in green with a blue star. Does that mean something? Yes, it means you remember, Karen. Someone very kindly gifted 5 memberships earlier, and then someone very, very kindly gifted 50 memberships. So it could well be that you benefited from one of those gifts. So you remember for a month, completely free of charge. So I'll go and check out the members area. Who's going for walkies? Somebody's going for walkies. We've got a couple of new members as well. Just let me. Annette, welcome. Thanks for joining. Welcome to the Secret Agents Club. And Simalicious OG. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the Secret Agents Club. Yeah. Some people must have quite boring childhoods, scaling walls and cliffs as a teenager. I know. I was going through tunnels to watch rats swimming, which had right. The tunnels went under the roads, taking the river Yarrow under the roads, and there was like this little tiny ledge that you could walk along inside the tunnels, and we used to inch along to watch the rats that were swimming about in the tunnels. We used to think it was amazing that these rats were just fantastic swimmers, just like swimming around everywhere. There's loads of them. We loved it. And then we used to climb up stuff. We used to jump electric fences. I mean, come on, guys. You guys who I don't know what kind of childhood some people had, but they must have been very boring ones. And I'm guessing that the vast majority of people who watch my channel were children before the age of the internet, before the age of video games. So what on earth were you doing? What on earth were you doing? Were you sat in front of the telly the whole time of your childhood? Were you just, I don't know. Anyway, let me know that the sound's okay on this.
Him if anybody would come up to his, would there be anyone that come up to the door to get Sebastian or anything? And he says no.
Somebody had been in by the front door, punched in the code. Believe it or not, no, it's not super clear, but you would have seen a shadow or a figure.
Yeah, that's what I would think. Okay, he says if they would have punched in a code, meaning if you push multiple numbers, they light up. So there would have been a little bit of a light source, right? Not necessarily if somebody's standing in front of that, dressed in all black, and hits one button, You don't have to hit all of the numbers to hit the lock button. It's one button. And if you're angled right in front of the side of where the lock is, you potentially would be blocking that from camera view. So that quick little flicker of light doesn't mean shit again.
Right. So this is the crux of the argument. I'm going to let it play because they talk about the doors, but right. The argument seems to be that nobody could have come to the house and got Sebastian. Well, nobody's suggesting that somebody's come to the house, because Chris said that if somebody had come to the house and punched in the door code, that door code would have lit up and the camera across the road would have picked it up. Now, I'm not even sure that that would have happened. So the camera across the road. So let's break this down. This is Sebastian's house. His front door's about here. This must be the house across the road, because there's only one house across the road that could see into the front door. So it must be this house that had the camera that saw Sebastian taking out the trash. It was either this house or this house. Could have been this house. But there's only two houses that look across. And this house, I measured it earlier, it's 150 feet from this house's front door to Sebastian's front door. And it's about the same on this one. It's actually further. Hold on. Let me just measure it. You can't see this, but I'm just going to do a quick measure on Google Earth here. Right. So the house with the pool. So from that front door to Sebastian's front door is, change it to feet, 192 feet. From that house with the pool's front door to Sebastian's driveway, where he would have put the trash out, is 135 feet, thereabouts. Hold on, I'll do it again. It's maybe a bit less. To the road, not to the house, 95 feet. So whichever house it was, whether it's this house or this house, that's about 150 feet from their front door to their front door. This house, from the corner here to Sebastian's driveway here, which is where he would have taken the trash out, right? Because the garage is here. This is the driveway. So Sebastian would have taken the trash to the edge of the driveway, to the edge of the road there. That's 95 feet. So it can't be a Ring doorbell. This house, if it's this house that had the camera, this house. So we've got Sebastian's house there. So we've got that house or that house. Right, none of the others. The others are too far away. So if it's this house, you've got to bear in mind the trees wouldn't have had leaves on. It's 95 feet from this house to the edge of Sebastian's driveway there. That's where he was taking out the trash. So it can't be a Ring doorbell, because we've already ascertained that a Ring doorbell only has a range of 9 meters, which is about 30 feet. So that house that saw Sebastian taking out the driveway must be a security camera, which has a longer range. So, you know, a more expensive piece of kit than a Ring doorbell. So is it possible that that house could have seen a light being, you know, on a keypad at Sebastian's front door? given the angles and stuff, I don't know it is. I don't know you could even see it. I'm not going to go right up to the front door because I'll get my video taken down. But I don't know that it's even possible. I mean, maybe from that house there, it could be, because that's more directly across, possibly. But again, that would have to be a security camera and not a Ring doorbell, because it's 150 feet from that door to Sebastian's door. And I'm not convinced with the angle of the house. I'm not convinced that any of the cameras would pick up light on a keypad. So we know that Sebastian's front door had a keypad. So in order to get in, you had to punch in a code, right? So Chris is saying that code, it lights up, the keypad lights up. So nobody came to the house and went in through the keypad, you know, punching in a code, because the house across the road would have seen it. I'm not sure it would have. I'm not sure it would have. Even at night when everything else is dark, a tiny light from across the road on an angle, it's an angle, you know, it's not directly across either. Whether it's this house, that I don't think that house would pick up anything from that front door. It picks stuff up from the driveway because it's straight across. So that's why it would have caught Sebastian taking out the trash. But taking out the trash was done before it got dark. So we've got to remember that as well. That when Sebastian left, it was dark, pitch black. So if it's this house, yeah, that house possibly could pick up something happening at the front door, as long as it was a long range camera, not a Ring doorbell, which doesn't have the range, and it's got, you know, some kind of night vision. But even that, from 150 feet away, is it going to pick up, you know, the light from a keypad on the door? Thank you. Yes, if you're punching in a code, you'd be standing in front of the touchpad and blocking the light anyway. Thank you. Thank you. This is exactly what Nonsense said. And they also argued, right? It'll all come out in this conversation. They also argued that if Sebastian left and then, you know, shut the door behind him, then if you press a button to lock the door, which apparently Sebastian always did, that would be seen on the camera across as well. No, because if you're locking the door, you know, by pressing a button, you're standing directly in front of the keypad to press the button, right? You come out of the door in the pitch black, right? Coming out of the door, you shut the door, and to punch the code to lock it, you're standing directly in front of the keypad. So there's no way that even if the camera was so good that it could go 150 feet and see the tiny light that would have been on a keypad, you're going to be standing in front of it anyway to punch the code in. These locks have memory chips. Okay, so it would have been possible, are you saying, to like reverse engineer it, you know, and to get the time that the code was keyed in? I don't know whether they did that. Interesting thought, though. All right.
Based on, you know, something would have been visible because one of the lights is still visible from that Ring camera from across the street.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. Chris seems to think that if someone had come to the house and punched in a code, that it would have been visible from the Ring camera. Well, if it's a Ring camera, absolutely not, because that's got a maximum range of 30 feet for any motion. And a light across the road wouldn't count as motion anyway on a Ring camera. So even if it did have the range, it's not going to count as motion. So if it's a motion activated camera like a Ring doorbell is, it's not going to pick up. So Chris is wrong. Whatever Chris is saying here, Chris is wrong, unless it's been tested and unless the house across the street has a supersonic camera that can pick up a tiny light on a keypad. But even if it is, you're standing in front of that keypad to key in the code or to press the button to lock the door. So it still wouldn't be seen. So Chris is creating a problem here. Chris is creating the problem here. No, I don't believe anyone came to the house. I don't believe anyone came to the house. If someone met Sebastian, I believe they arranged to meet him away from the house. If you had ill intent, right? If you were a groomer who'd been grooming a kid either online or, you know, through some kind of friendship network, you know, a friend of a friend or whatever, you'd never come to the house in order to abduct them. You get the kid away from the house. So you'd arrange to meet them somewhere. I don't believe anybody came to the house. I really don't believe anyone came to the house. So this conversation is moot anyway. But what they're trying to argue, I think, is that Sebastian couldn't have left through the front door, or else that light on the keypad would have been picked up by the camera across the road. It's all just nonsense. It doesn't make sense. It just is illogical. Purple AJ, thank you so much. 20 more memberships. So Sheepy, Juicy Tulip, Jacqueline, Lindsay, AF Pennington, Keep Grinding Up, Peggy, Sassy Britches, Dough Girl, Heather, Cara, Judy, Ruby, Bonnie, Lady, Explorer, Blazer, Miss Tux Brandy. I think that's it. Oh, Magnificently Flawed. Thank you so much. Purple AJ, you are a star, a shining star. You guys, the membership area has got some really cute doggy photos. If you want to go and see them. Got some questions here. So thank you. You guys get a month's free membership courtesy of the wonderful Purple AJ. Why does Seth say anything? Nothing he says makes sense. No. This is Chris, though. This is Chris. How far down Sebastian's driveway would he have had to walk down in order to be picked up on the security camera? Well, I don't know, because I don't know the range of this camera. I know it has to be a security system that's, you know, better than a Ring doorbell, because a Ring doorbell's got a maximum range of 30 feet. So it's not even going to, like for this house, that's not even going to register until, if it was a Ring doorbell, you'd have to be halfway up this driveway. But it seems to be a security camera with a bigger range than a Ring, because it caught Sebastian taking out the trash. So either this house or this house, the camera hit either of these houses. I don't know which house it was, but either of these, it caught Sebastian taking out the trash. So that's like 95 feet. That's about 150 feet. So it would have been a security camera that had a decent range to see Sebastian taking out the trash from the other side of the road. But remember, when Sebastian took out the trash, it wasn't dark. You've got a whole, you know, added complexity when it's dark, because the camera has to have some kind of night vision to it. And even when it's pitch black, it still might not pick up somebody who's walking along wearing black. It'll pick up a vehicle, because the vehicle's obviously bigger. But a person just coming out of the front door and then heading left here, like, it's not going to pick you up. You're wearing black and it's in the shadows and it's pitch black. You're not going to put, you're not. I know my subscribers are the most generous people. They so are. They so are. There was talk early on that Ellie was asking neighbours if they called an Uber. I wonder if Ellie had seen an odd car in the neighbourhood. Yeah, they were. They were indeed. I do remember that. But they have said on the TBI newsroom that all the cars in the area have been accounted for. With help from the FBI, vehicles that were placed in the area at or around the time of Sebastian's disappearance have been accounted for. So if it's an Uber, then it's going to be easy, isn't it? It's going to be easy to track down that Uber. There's a, you order an Uber on your phone, and that Uber is going to have a destination. So you're going to know who that Uber driver was, where they went, what their next call was, and all of that stuff. So yeah, I think that was something that they looked into. I think it's possible that Sebastian knows the workings of these cameras since his mum installed security devices for a living. I don't know. I did a video early on in the case speculating whether if Sebastian intended to run away, could he have, consciously avoided the cameras? And technically, yes, he could have. I'm not sure, honestly, that he intended to run away forever. I think he might have been upset. I think he might have been emotional. And I think maybe walking around the neighbourhood calmed him down. We know that he's done that before. We know that he's hidden under cars before. We know that he's been seen in the construction site area before. We know those things because of the dispatch audio. So we know all of that. We know all of that from the dispatch audio. There was another question I wanted to get to. I think it's before the member gifting, so it's difficult to find. Did he take the trash out after they got back from dinner? Yes. Yeah, before he went to bed. So it was in the interim between him getting home and going to bed. So we know that he went to bed at 9, like he went in his room at 9. So it was before 9 p.m. Now, I don't know what time they got back from dinner, but it would still have been light. There would still have been some light. Even if he'd taken the trash out at 9 o'clock, directly before he went to bed, there would still be light. I mean, it's light here now to like 10 p.m. It's still light outside. Now it might go light a little bit. It might go dark a little bit earlier there, but there would still have been some light. Whichever way it is, we do know from Seth that he's seen the video of Sebastian taking out the trash. So we know Seth has confirmed that he's seen that video, but it wasn't very clear. So I think the other question that I wanted to highlight was how long does the keypad stay lit? After you've punched the code in, how long does it stay lit? I don't know, but I can't imagine it's going to be for very long. Like it might only stay lit while, like you press the button, it lights up and then it directly goes off. Press the button, it lights up and it directly goes off. I don't think it would stay lit for like minutes. Asking about dogs missing Harley Dilly. You're going to have to be a bit more specific than that. Sunset was 5:39 p.m. 5:39 p.m. So it would have been dark at 9. Oh yeah, it's February, isn't it? So in February here, it's going dark it's dark by 7, end of February. So 5:39. That's sunset. So you've still got some light after sunset. So you've got to take I think it's last light. you know, it wasn't 28 degrees that night, Lawson family. Please, please, please do not start this again. How many videos have I made? How many times? How many times? It was not 28 degrees. It was 55 degrees. The coldest temperature, the 25th into the 26th, was 55 freaking degrees. It's colder than that here this morning. I'm sitting here in a t-shirt with the window open, and I'm hot. It's like 50 degrees here today. And I went out this morning and it was hot. It was warm. It was not 28 freaking degrees. How many times? How many times? How many freaking times? Dear God. Dear God. All right.
That has been
Oh, man.
Again, so the ring camera across the street.
every video.
So if he went out that door, if someone walked up to that door, well, they're going to get it on camera.
Yep. No, they're not. They're not going to get it on camera. They're not going to get it on camera if it's a Ring doorbell, because it's got a maximum of 30 feet from ring.com. This is ring.com. Motion detection range on Ring devices is up to 9 meters, which is 30 feet. If it's a security camera, if it's a really, really, really good security camera, then yeah, it's going to be able to see people going in and out of Sebastian's house, as long as it's got night vision and it's on all the time. But detecting a light on a keypad, I can't with that. I can't go with that at all, because you're going to be standing in front of the keypad when you're punching in the numbers, or you're punching the button to lock the door.
From that Ring doorbell.
Who said somebody walked up to that door? Walking out that door and hitting a lock button, your body could easily block that and you could continue to walk, especially if you're dressed in all black.
Thank you. At least someone's got common sense. Thank you.
And that's what he was last seen wearing.
Absolutely.
They are going to get it on that
Kirby
Ring.
Barbie.
Other creators will figure it out and make a new video about the true temperature. They won't, because it doesn't fit their narrative. They'll continue to say it was 28 degrees because it fits their narrative that Sebastian wouldn't have gone out in 28 degree weather in bare feet. It was warm. It was 55 degrees. It was warmer in the middle of the night there that night than it is here today. And I'm sitting here with the window open. My neighbours will probably think that I'm going berserk talking to myself. And I've got a t-shirt on. And I'm not cold. I'm sitting down. I'm not cold. But it must have been, if it was dark, let's say at 9 p.m, because it was February. I forgot it was February. It was dark. So that camera, whichever one it was, this one or this one, must have been a decent camera to pick Sebastian up from over the road, taking out the trash. But like Seth said, it wasn't clear. You couldn't really tell who it was. We just know that, you know, it probably was him. But Seth has seen that video. So if it sees somebody taking out the trash to the road, would it see someone going to the front door? Maybe. But I don't think it's going to see you if you're in the middle of the night and you're wearing all black and you just come out of the front door, you turn left, because you've got the shadows and everything from the house. And then you turn left and you go this way. And I really don't think it's going to pick up. You'd have to be a fantastic camera to pick up a light from a keypad. Have you seen those Adidas style pants? The white stripes are almost reflective. It depends if they're made from reflective material or not. Fahrenheit or Celsius? Fahrenheit. They work in Fahrenheit in America. No cameras would have seen him on the keypad. I don't think so. I think unless Chris or law enforcement have done tests, you know, and they've come out wearing black in the middle of the night and pressed the keypad and then gone over the road and said, did your camera catch that? Did your camera catch what I did? Unless it's actually been experimented and it's proven that that camera is so good that it can pick up a keypad light. But even if it is, you're standing in front of it when you're punching in the button. You're standing in front of it. The light from those keypads are dim anyway. There's no way it would have picked up light from a keypad. No, I don't know. I can't with these people. I can't with these theories. It proves nothing. It's just nonsense. It proves nothing.
Doorbell.
Yeah, I've said that the entire after that interview.
So he just told us. He
Not
just
the-
told us
Yeah.
that if someone walks out, someone walks up to it. There you go.
They can't. Yeah, they lock themselves in.
Oh, it's better. There's more. But wait, there's
Okay.
more.
Oh my God.
There's more. Let me pull it up here.
Oh, but wait, there's so much more rocket science here. You know, shit, the TBI, the FBI, the Secret Service, they couldn't figure out this light situation. Hey, Gray Hughes, if you ever hear this, which you probably won't, but can we do like a demonstration on how it's easy that wouldn't necessarily be true? I mean,
Well, I'm not Gray Hughes. I'm not Gray Hughes, but I am trying my best. I don't know whether Gray Hughes would have more success than me to trying to get people to understand what's going on and what couldn't possibly happen. Gray, if you see this, please try. Because I'm not having any success whatsoever. It seems that people do not believe what I'm saying. I'm trying my best. Oh, what is this allergy thing coming up again? Oh, how long did we talk about allergies the other day? Guys, how long did we talk about allergies the other day? AF Pennington, yeah, just Jesse. An allergy to grass will be to the pollen. If the grass isn't releasing pollen, it will be fine. His feet touching the grass wouldn't change his reaction. His feet, yeah. It's the mucous membranes, right? That's where the trigger is to grass pollen, not your skin. Now, it is possible to be that allergic to a certain plant that even touching your skin, it's gonna bring up hives and stuff like that. But grass allergy is normally to the pollen. Grass is not releasing pollen in February in the middle of the freaking night. Go and look up grass pollen. Go and look up allergies to grass. I'm allergic to grass. I've even got an allergy test thing somewhere to prove to you that I had allergy testing. And one of my allergies is grass. I can prove to you. I can walk on grass in bare feet. I can walk through long grass. The only time it affects me, the only time it makes me sneeze and makes my eyes run, is when the grass is pollinating. It's like, I don't understand. People do not understand basic life. Basic life. Just basic general knowledge. People do not have it. Jesus.
so high tech with all of this shit. I can just logically explain it, but Gray could do a whole demonstration, I'm sure, of how that's not factual.
Shit. Let me find it.
The only way we can prove that it's not factual is to show you the receipts. The receipt from ring.com. Motion detection range on Ring devices is up to 9 meters, which is 30 feet. So the camera across the road cannot have been a Ring camera because it couldn't have seen across the road, because this distance from this house to this drive is about 95 feet thereabouts. Measurements on Google Earth and Google Maps are not exact, but approximately, 3 times further than a Ring doorbell can see, can detect motion. This house from this house's front door to Sebastian's front door is about 150 feet. So the camera that saw Sebastian taking out the trash cannot be a Ring doorbell. It has to be some kind of security system that's a better system than a Ring. In which case, yeah, you know, security cameras can, you know, some can go up to 500 feet if it's a really, really good camera. But, oh, we don't know the quality of this camera. But even if this camera is so good that it could see someone coming out of that front door, right? Is it possible in the middle of the night when it's dark, when there's no light around, and that person is literally there for a few seconds, it's not going to even activate the camera. Someone's there for a few seconds and then slips down, like round this corner, and turns left. It's not even going to activate the camera. Neither is a light from the keypad. And even if the camera was so good that it could see the light from a keypad, when you use the keypad, you're standing in front of it. So there's your evidence. There's your evidence. The distance of the one house to another is too far, unless your camera is really, really good and it's pitch black. So your camera has to be really, really good. We need to know the make and the model of the camera that saw Sebastian taking out the trash. And then we can bring the receipts for that as well. But at this moment in time, I do not have the make and the model of that camera. I just know it can't be a Ring because Rings will not possibly see anybody from the other side of the road. But if anybody knows the make and the model of the camera at the house across from Sebastian, then let me know and we can look up we can get the user manual. We can get the user manual and we can look at that camera's maximum possibilities. All right, let's do that. But unless we have that, then we can just assume based on the average camera. Someone in the middle of the night slipping out of the house in the shadows with no street lights, no lights on that side of the house, and you're wearing black. No camera. It's not even gonna switch the camera on. It's not gonna detect the motion at all. So no. There's your proof. If Grey Hughes can do better at explaining it, then please, Grey, please do it. Don't see any cameras on the house across the street. Neither can I, but there obviously is one because Seth has said that he's seen the video. So this is from July 2023. It's possible that the camera was installed after July 2023. Also, there's one house that you just can't see. This house, you actually can't see the front door. Like it's all like whited out because there must be sun or something. But you can't actually see the front door on that house. I don't know whether the front door would be. No, that's the front door's going to be here. You can't see the front door. And then from that angle, the tree's in the way. Oh, there we go. There we go. No, you can't see. I mean, it's possible that they do have a camera that was installed after July 2023. Can't see the front door. So wherever the camera is, if it's the next door house, this house, let's have a look. It's got that looks like a door, some kind of doorbell. But again, this is like a year old. Is that a camera? That's a camera. There's a camera. You've got a camera facing front, a camera facing kind of back. So the camera's there. So it's looking right across. So yeah, it'll be that camera. I bet it's that camera. I bet it's that camera that got him coming out the drive, on the drive there. If so, you're looking at 9,500 feet. So would that camera, the angle that camera's at, would it be able to see the front door? I'm not going to zoom in, or else I'm going to get the video removed. I'm not going to zoom in. But would it see the front door? Bear in mind that there'll be no leaves on the trees. Maybe it will be able to see the front door. But it's in shadow, so it's pitch black. Even in the day, that's shadowed out because of just the angle of the house. But at night, it's going to be pitch black. And somebody just slipping out that front door, you know, they've not turned the lights on in the house. There's no lights on in the house. They slip out of that front door. They nip round the side to to go across the neighbour's yard at the back. There's no way that camera is going to see them in the middle of the night wearing black. No way. Could be the best camera in the world. I want to see the evidence that camera can pick up somebody wearing black in the middle of the night. If it's that good. Oh, sorry, guys. This camera. There. This camera. So it's the house across the street. So there's Sebastian's driveway. So seeing Sebastian taking out the trash, that's 9,500 feet. So you've got a camera facing front, you've got a camera facing back. So but the front door is round that bend. The front door's round that bend. It's like shielded. So it's easy for the camera to pick up somebody taking the trash out there, but not so easy to see someone at the front door. That's floodlights. Well, where's the camera then? Is there not a camera in there? Will there not be a camera in that light? Because it's the only light, it's the only kind of thing I can see. I can't see anything else. But we do know that one of these houses has a camera. Unless Seth's lying. Now, is Seth lying? Saying that he's seen the video of Sebastian taking out the trash? I don't think so. I don't think he's lying. You have that camera. It's an older model. It can see it if there is a light source, but it's hard dark at night after sunset. Yeah, it might be a light, but I think it's a camera. Look, there may be like a camera system that's been installed on this house or the other house, this house also, that's been installed. That's a light. That's a light. That's been installed since July 2023. It may be that they didn't have cameras and it's been installed after July 2023. So what happened to the camera inside the house? We've not got confirmation that they've got cameras inside the house. Personally, I think they may have had a camera inside the house, which is why the cops know that Sebastian left on his own. But that's a speculation. We've not had that confirmed. So I'm not going to 100% definitively say that they've got a camera inside the house. We know for sure that's a camera. We know for sure that's a camera. And we know for sure that camera has a long range, because it's that camera that picked up the garbage truck lights, which were on Honeysuckle Drive, which is ways. Like that was the light moving behind these trees. Honeysuckle Drive is behind these trees. And that light would have picked up a vehicle on the road. Sebastian was carried out, or he's wearing shoes. He may have been wearing shoes. I've said from day one that he could have had shoes that his parents didn't know about. But even if he wasn't wearing shoes, so what? Have you never been out barefooted? Have you never walked outside barefooted at all? It's kind of a nice feeling. Go and try it and see how it feels to you. Can't remember how close or where the neighbour was where Sebastian hid under the car. Was it the same house that the light photo came from? All we know is that it was up the street, 2 houses up. So it could have been, where are we at here? Oh, it's spun around. Let's get it back the right way. It could have been 2 houses up. So it's that house maybe. So up the road, 2 houses up. So that, I think maybe that house. Not sure. That's what we heard from the dispatch audio. So up the road, across the road, 2 houses up is where Sebastian was hiding under a car. And then there was a man on one of these houses, which are not finished on this map because this was last July. But one of these houses on Willow Bend said that he'd seen Sebastian in his neighbourhood often previously, but not recently. And I think that man had been seeing Sebastian when this area here was under construction, but they're all finished now. So he said he hadn't seen him recently. I think because Sebastian had moved his playground to here, that he was playing here where it is now construction. Bare feet are the best. Bare feet are the best. All right. 50s during the day. What is 50s during the day? It is here, like 50s during the day. What are you talking about, Tommy? Are you talking about the day that Sebastian disappeared? All right. Well, it was 70s during the day. The 25th, the 26th, 27th, it was 70s in the day. Do you want to go and check the weather again and come back and then admit you were wrong? All right. Do that. Not at night. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right. Sorry, guys. We're going to have to go back a step. Like, we're going to have to do it all again and do the weather. I feel like a freaking weather channel. All right. So we are at... Right. Weather. Weather... Hendersonville, Tennessee. What are we doing here? All right. Okay. How much are you going to bet me? How much are you going to bet me? Tommy, are you listening? Tommy! Wake up, Tommy! Are you listening? All right. Which weather do you want me to look at? Which weather? AccuWeather? Should we do AccuWeather? Don't do it. All right, here we go. Boom. AccuWeather. February 2024. All right, 26th. 55. Oh no. It was the night before that was 28. Oh. Because why can't you read a basic table, Tommy? Are you listening? Wake up. Keep with it. All right. Right. A new day starts at midnight. Right. So midnight of the 25th. So a minute before would have been the 24th. So the 24th into the 25th, the minimum temperature was 28. Then throughout the day of the 25th, it got as high as 68 degrees. Then it turns midnight into the 26th. And the lowest temperature from midnight right up through the night, the minimum temperature was 55. Then the maximum temperature throughout the day on the 26th is 76. Then we get to midnight on the 27th, right? So 26 into the 27th. The minimum temperature in the night after midnight, you know, all through the night, the minimum temperature was 62. The maximum temperature throughout the day on the 27th was 75. Then the wind changed direction, because if you'd watched my video, Tommy, on wind direction from the other day, you will know that I got all the wind directions and the wind speeds as well as the temperatures. So the wind speed was a mild breeze throughout the entire time, and it was all southerly winds. It was all coming from the south. It was a nice breezy southerly wind. Then sometime on the 27th, the wind changed direction. It went northwesterly and then northerly. What happens when the north wind doth blow? The north wind doth blow, and we shall have snow. And what will the robin do then? Do you know the rhyme? You know the rhyme. All right. So north winds, right, reduce your temperature. So the wind sometime on the 27th starts to change. By midnight, so this is 27th into 28th, it was a northerly wind, changed from a nice breezy southerly wind, which was warm, to a cold northerly wind. And it was at this time on the 28th that the cops expressed their concern that Sebastian might be out and the temperature had dropped. And this was when they were very concerned that he might get hypothermia. Why? Because the wind changed direction. Because wind does that. That certainly proves he walked out barefoot in shoes his parents didn't know he owned. It certainly proves that you were wrong, Tommy, on the temperature. That's what it proves. So sit down and I don't know, just sit down quietly in the corner and watch my previous videos. While you're sitting there in the corner, just go and watch my previous videos, because you've lost. So whatever bet we had, I don't know what the bet was, but whatever bet we had, you may have to give some memberships or something, you know, to because you lost. Anyway, all right. All right, we've got a smoking gun. We've got a smoking gun. You love my videos. Thank you. Well, listen to the content. Loving them's great, but listen to the content. You get facts on this channel. Not only do you get facts, you also get, wherever possible, you get receipts. There we go, Joanne, thank you. The north wind doth blow, and we shall have snow. And what will the poor robin do then, poor thing? He'll hide in the barn and keep himself warm and hide his head under his wing, poor thing. So it didn't get as bad as it didn't snow. But I bet the poor robin went in a barn and hid his head under his wing. 14C is a bit cold, though. Do you think? Do you think? There's no sound. What are you talking about? There's no so. Have we gone? Have we disappeared? You can't hear nonsense. Oh, has it done that again? Oh, it's done that stupid thing again. All right, I've got to reconnect my audio. Oh, it's so annoying. All right. All right. That's StreamYard. I'll go back a second. There is sound. That's it. Facts don't care about the narrative. Right, can you hear now? Can you hear that now? No. Oh. All right, I'm going to have to stop the share and reshare. It's so annoying. This is StreamYard. This is not me. This is StreamYard. It's so annoying. All right. All right. Let me know you can hear this.
The truth. They are going off of process of elimination of where could he have gone out of, what is the situation with the locks. Oh.
Still can't hear that. You can hear that now. Good. All right.
Oh my God, this hurts my head.
Him going out of any windows, because there's no evidence of that. Even Chris and Katie agreed that it's not possible, right? He would have hurt it, or he would have hurt himself, right? He was barefooted. There's no screens broken or anything.
No.
So he didn't go out the windows. So he didn't go out the back door either.
No.
We know that. Okay. So what do we have left? The garage.
No. No. We've got the front door, because the logic as to you can hear everything good. The logic as to why Sebastian couldn't have gone out the front door was fundamentally flawed. So no, he went out the front door. He could have gone out the garage door. Why don't we believe he went out the garage door? He could have gone out the garage door. There is a door on the side of the house, right? Slightly increased chance of him being picked up on a camera if he went out the garage door. Why? Because the garage door has got two lights above the garage. There's two lights that are permanently on. So if he'd gone out the garage door, there's a greater chance that he could have been picked up on cameras. But he went out the front door. So there's that.
We have the garage.
Yeah.
And he couldn't have done that either, because he couldn't have locked it.
Right.
Either. So how the hell did this 15-year-old kid get out?
Through the front door. Because the rationale as to why he couldn't possibly have gone out through the front door is fundamentally flawed. So we know he didn't go out of the windows because none of the windows were disturbed. We know he didn't go out the back door because that requires a key. He didn't have the key and that door was locked. So he either went out the garage door, or would the garage door have made a bigger noise? I don't think so. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. But he could possibly have gone out the garage door. But it would have had an increased chance of being picked up on this camera. Why? Because there are lights on the... There's lights on the garage that you can see. So if you've gone out, there's the door. There's the garage door. But would he have been able to lock that door behind him? Would he have been able to lock that door behind him? Don't know. But if he went out the front door, he just locks the door behind him and he disappears. And any rationale as to why he couldn't have gone out the front door is so fundamentally flawed. I don't actually think we need to listen to any more. However, we are going to listen to a bit more because it just gets crazy. Went out the front door. All the other doors had keys. All right. I don't know about the garage door. I mean, the garage door, it does look like a door. Maybe with a key. You can't tell, but hold on. I'm going to get this video removed. I know I am. You can't tell. But sometimes he did use that door. I mean, he probably would have used that door to take out the trash, I would imagine, because he was going down the driveway. Look, he went out the front door. The dogs tracked him from the front door. The dogs tracked him from the front door. And any argument as to why he couldn't have gone out the front door, as I've said like a billion times now, is fundamentally flawed. Are there not solar-powered lights along the front of the house on the ground? There might be. However, solar-powered lights have got to have a lot of sun. So I've got a little solar light in my back, and it only comes on if there's been like a considerable amount of sun in the day. It wasn't coming on at all, like in February. And my neighbours have got solar lights. She's got solar lights all around her backyard, and they don't shine at all until like springtime. So there may not have even been enough sun to power the solar lights. But solar lights, they're not strong anyway. They're just decorative. They're not going to light you up. They're just decorative. Yeah, they only run so many hours. So if you've not had much sunlight, even if they power on at all, they're not going to stay on for very long. So no sun on the February 25th. Of course there would have been sun. I mean, it wasn't like a complete eclipse. What I'm saying is it's about the hours of sunlight that you need, like to have your solar lights fully charged for them to, you know, still be powered on like all through the night. You're going to have a considerable amount of sunlight. They're decorative. They look pretty, but they're not going to light you up. It's decorative. And if the batteries die, solar lights don't work at all, yeah. Because my neighbours, because I can see her solar lights through my fence, like through the trees. And there's one that shines red. And I always think there's a fire. Like if I've not seen it for a while, like if her lights have not powered on for a while, and then I see this little red light flickering through the tree, I'm like, shit, there's a fire next door. And then it always dawns on me that, oh, it's a solar light, the red one. That's it, the brighter the sun. It's about the amount of brightness. I don't know. But yeah. They're decorative. They're not there to light the entire garden up. They're just decorative.
Yeah. And even if he would have went out the garage, that same camera from the back house would have got him on there.
I mean, he could have walked.
So now they're saying that there's a camera at the back. There is, actually. They are correct. There's a camera. We heard this on the dispatch audio. There's a camera on this house directly behind Sebastian's house. Now, I don't know. I can't see the back of this house. But if they've got a camera at the back, it would have seen Sebastian if he'd gone out the back door or out the garage door and then gone behind, hopped the fence. It may have had a chance of seeing him. However, once again, it would have to be a supersonic camera to be able to pick up anybody walking along in the middle of the night because it's pitch black. So that camera, even if he'd gone out the back door, which he didn't, even if he'd gone out the garage door, which he probably didn't, that camera, if there's a camera at the back, may not have even seen him anywhere. We know it certainly didn't see anything this way, because this is one of the houses that on the dispatch audio, they said they got a camera. And we know that the detectives have tested, like walked up and down the street to see what these cameras can detect. And they didn't detect the detectives walking up and down the street because they're too far away from the road. So any mention of cameras is automatically negated by the fact that it's dark, he was wearing black, the cameras are too far away from the road when they're, you know, they're specifically ring cameras, which have got a maximum motion detection rate of 9 meters, which is 30 feet. A security camera that is supersonic with night vision had a greater chance of seeing him. However, none of them did. None of them did. That's the fact. So, didn't go out the back door because it had a key. And that back door was locked. If the garage door also had a key, then that was locked. He went out the front door. Everything leads us to believe he went out the front door. And any logic saying this is bingo, that he couldn't have possibly gone out the front door because the camera across the road would have detected the light on the keypad, is utter nonsense. Because when you are, even if that supersonic camera could have picked up that tiny light on the keypad, when you're punching in a code to lock the door, you stood in front of it.
Walked out the front door, turned around, dressed in all black, under the darkness of night, hit the one little lock button on the keypad, and walked off. Doesn't take rocket science.
No, it doesn't take rocket science, does it? No, it doesn't take rocket science. However, some people seem to think that, I don't know, they need rocket fuel to I don't know, fire the brain up or something. I don't know. Dogs have made noise at the back door too. I don't know that they would have. Why would the dogs bark when someone that they know is leaving? I mean, some dogs do. Some dogs kick up a fuss when you're leaving. But if Sebastian, I don't know. Why would they? They're probably just sleeping. I don't think the dogs will bark when somebody's leaving that they know very well in the middle of the night. They're going to be tired. Like, I don't know. I mean, I know little dogs tend to yap. I used to have 2 Yorkies. One of them was a yapper. He'd bark at anything, but even he didn't bark when I left the house. My other Yorkie never barked. She never barked. She like booked the trend for a yappy little dog. She never barked. She was so laid back. She just never barked. Never heard her barking until she was maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6. And one day she let out this little woof, and I was like, wow, you can actually bark. But dogs don't bark when you leave. They might bark when you come home, yeah. Like Tilly barks. Like when she hears me coming down, because I live down like a little track, like cul-de-sac track type thing, like you can't get a car down it. She hears me coming. I can hear her barking. Right? Like I've not even got to the gate and I can hear her barking because she's an absolute clown. The other 2 don't bark when I come home. Tilly does. Because she's like mega excited. She's stood behind the door barking. And she's got this loud booming bark that like, so annoying. She's so annoying. Dogs are in a cage. They're in a pen. Yeah, they're in a pen. German Shepherd, she's around 7. She doesn't bark at all. No, I mean, it's just dogs don't bark when you're leaving. Witnessed dogs on a rare occasion that were barked when the owner was leaving, but it's so rare. Yeah, I mean, it's not likely. Most dogs, especially at night, they're not going to bark when you leave. Dogs get caged in the sunroom. Yeah, they've got a pen in the sunroom.
But there's many other possibilities too. But this is their big hurrah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what they've done, in my opinion, is they've locked themselves in.
They locked themselves in. Yes, I put all that together today, and I said,
yes, Misty. Yes. The PI even talked about that. Yeah.
My dog barks when you leave. Okay. Wouldn't he have not wanted to leave the dogs? Well, he didn't take the dogs with him, so yeah, he left without the dogs. He was into cats. Sebastian's a cat person. I mean, it was Katie and Chris who got the dogs. My dogs can see a leaf blow and they start reporting a murder with their barking. That's Tilly. That's Tilly. The day when she actually does witness a murder, she's cried wolf so many times that I won't believe her. I'll just shout, Tilly, shut up. And actually, she's reporting a murder. Where's the pen? The sunroom. The dogs have a pen in the sunroom. Oh, I love Tilly Cassie Noodles. So does my rescue dog Rags. Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
Bam, mother chicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bam.
And Ellie knows all this because I sent them a whole interview. They got.
Holy shit. Slimy is on the case. I guess. Did you handwrite it like you did about if your husband got in trouble? You know, you couldn't be an advocate for Summer anymore. That was more important. Ma'am, that's probably one of the weirdest.
Were they in the pen? Chris said the dog slept with Katie when he's not home. Yeah, they may have been with Katie. So we only know that they're meant to sleep in the pen, but they may not have been in the pen. Katie may have just taken them to her bedroom. So in which case, they probably would be even less likely to bark. What do you think of Seth having life insurance on Sebastian? Work history. And she was a bread maker and baby. You can't collect life insurance on somebody that's missing. So whether you've got life insurance on somebody, if they're missing, the life insurance ain't going to pay out because they're not dead, they're missing. So I don't think it's relevant. So why did Chris tell Katie to put the dogs away if he wasn't home? He probably wants the dogs to go in their pen. So he tells Katie to put them in their pen. It doesn't mean to say she does. What she may do, what he's probably telling her to do is put the dogs away in the pen because he wants them in the pen when he's home. So if she confuses them by letting them sleep with her, they may then struggle to go back in the pen. Like they may want to sleep in their room, and Chris doesn't want them in their room. He wants them in the pen. So maybe he tells Katie to put them in the pen, but she ignores him and puts them in her bedroom. Like I would flat out ignore. If somebody said to me, put your dogs in the pen, I'd flat out ignore them. And I'd do exactly what I wanted because they're not home. So why would you listen to somebody when they're not home? If her Katie changed her story about the dogs, she said the dogs were in bed with her. That's not changing the story. That's not changing the story because she never said the dogs were in the pen. They've said that Chris told her to put the dogs in the pen. But we've never heard Katie say, yes, I put the dogs in the pen. It doesn't really matter where the dogs were anyway. Whether the dogs were in the pen or whether the dogs were in bed with Katie is pretty much irrelevant, because the majority of dogs do not bark when someone they know very well leaves. Michelle, can you comment? What do you think of the time window of Sebastian leaving or being taken if a known person, or even abduction, when Katie let the dogs out to go to the toilet at midnight? What do you mean? We know that Sebastian went missing between midnight and 6 a.m. So the dogs going to the toilet at midnight is irrelevant, because Sebastian would have left after Katie went to bed. We know that he didn't leave before Katie went to bed, or else she'd have seen him. She'd have seen him leave. So Katie had to have taken the dogs to the toilet, gone to bed, and then at some point after, Sebastian left. So exactly, life insurance policies require a death certificate, and those, yes, of course they do. And even if you're dead, right, they're not going to pay out under a whole bunch of circumstances. Like, they have loads of clauses. Like, insurance companies don't want to pay out, right? So they look for every reason not to pay out. So, you know, somebody is missing, they're not going to pay out because you're not dead. But even if then you are dead, if there's, you know, I don't know, a crime, a legal case, if there's, you know, there's no suspects been named, all of that stuff would create a problem for an insurance company. So somebody trying to, you know, disappear Sebastian for an insurance scam, well, ain't going to work. Dogs on camera going out. The cameras are not going to see two little dogs running about in the yard. It's too dark. There's no camera that would see them. Nobody, no insurance. Exactly. Exactly. Could she have been at the back door and he slipped out another door? She might have been in the back garden. Well, she may have been. Maybe, but why wouldn't he just wait for her to go to bed? I mean, it doesn't really matter, like, the exact time he went missing, whether he went, you know, at midnight when she let the dogs out, or whether he waited for her to go to bed and then left. I mean, when I used to go out at night, I used to wait for my mother to go to bed. You know, I'd wait a little bit, chance for her to go to sleep, and then I'd go out. Ooh, and sometimes I went out the front door. Sometimes I went out the back door. Ooh. Tracker dogs didn't find Harley Dilly. Is that the one who was in the chimney? Birdsong sounds great. Yeah, I've got my window open. The birds are singing outside. Dogs were under an invisibility cloak. Yeah, they were. I'm going to have to go in a minute because I'm going to go see the pups. I'm dog sitting this afternoon. So I'm going to have to go in 5 minutes.
Things I've ever seen in any creator
So we'll play 2 more minutes of this and then I've got to go.
do yet.
Back with me and wanted certain pieces out, and I got them that. But none of that, I mean, you know, I don't know what they did with it or whatever, but especially the part where we would have, you know, too.
Mm-hmm.
But they know this.
Oh, they do.
He needs to clap for himself. I'm sure on his channel, he's got a soundboard over there clapping for himself, giving himself gold stars. I mean, shit, what the fuck do we have law enforcement for with these smart people?
They do.
She's so sarcastic. She's so sarcastic. Look, right, I'm going to go, but this is not, let me just say again, like I said at the beginning, this is not about criticizing creators, right? We've all got theories. Somebody's going to be right. somebody somewhere along the line is going to be right. But all I can do whilst we await further information is to put out counter information about theories that absolutely cannot be truthful. It can't have happened in the way that they're saying, because of the for all the reasons I said. I'm not going to even try to just look. He went out the front door. There's no reason, there's no way that the camera over the other side of the road would have seen a tiny light on a keypad, especially if he's standing in front of it to press the button to lock the door. So this whole theory of, oh, this is proof that Sebastian didn't leave the house, he didn't leave via the front door, and he didn't leave via the back door, therefore he must have been driven out of the garage. There's no proof for that whatsoever, and this new theory does not provide proof for that at all. So yeah. Anyhow, it's not about the creators, it's about the theory, it's about the information. So don't, for those on the replay, don't come into the comments saying, this creator's horrible and this creator's horrible. It's not about the creators at all. It's about the information, and it doesn't matter who the creator is. If there's a theory that has got, information that I can debunk, or I can show evidence to say, no, this can't be true because of X, Y, Z, then that's what I'll do. And until we've got more information, that's all any of us can do. And anybody, if you're a creator, you're welcome to try to debunk me, to play my videos, to critique them, to give me counter information for me to consider. You're very welcome to do that. Anybody can play my videos and won't copyright strike, even if I think you're the worst creator in the world. I don't never copyright strike people. The one time I've copyright struck someone was when they passed off my entire video as their own. All right. That was wrong. And I even gave them the option to take it down. So YouTube, when you issue a copyright strike, you can either issue the copyright strike there and then, or you can give them a warning. And YouTube sends them a warning and says, the creator wants you to remove this within 7 days. If you've not removed it within 7 days, we'll issue a copyright strike. So even that person who passed off my entire videos as their own did not get a copyright strike, because they heeded the warning and they took the video down. So I don't copyright strike, even if I think you're the worst creator in the world, as long as you give me credit, as long as you say it came from here, put my link in the chat, put my link in the description, whatever. And you can critique me until the cows come home. It's absolutely fine. What's for lunch? Probably won't have any because I've got to go out in a minute. So this is nonsense. I've put the link in the chat again. It's in the description box already for replay viewers. It's worth a listen if you like sarcasm. Again, not about the creators. It's about the information. Life insurance is from Gerber Life Insurance. It's not too much from what I understand. Yeah, but life insurance, you have to be dead for life insurance to pay out. And missing is not dead. You have to be missing for years before, like, you can even be declared legally dead. So, I'm sure different states have got, different time periods. I think it's 7 years in the UK. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, that if you're missing for 7 years, then you can be declared legally dead. I think it's 7 years. Or is that divorce? If you're missing for 7 years, then your partner can divorce you. It might be divorce that I'm thinking of. Anyhow, right, I'm going to go and see the pups now. Got to go and dog sit. I'm correct, am I? Oh, 7 years. Oh, cool. There you go. I know something about my own country. Who'd have thought it? You often feel dead. Can I declare it? Yeah, me too. Me too. All right, guys, I'm going to go. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being respectful. You know, even if you don't agree with me, you're welcome here as long as you're respectful. And people have been incredibly generous with donations today. So I want to thank you all again. It means more than you will ever know that people are so generous. And thank you. That's all I can say. Thanks as always to the mods, and enjoy the rest of your day. See you guys. Bye.